we're going to start with this. I could not find the sourdough bread I was going to use because it was nowhere to be found at the grocery last night. So I'm trying this for the first time. It's called Against the Grain. It's a gluten-free bread. It's frozen, so I have to cook it from frozen, and I have to cook it for, what's it say here? 375 for 14 minutes in the oven. So I'm only going to make one because that's going to be more than enough for what I'm going to eat. Here you go, babe. So IT guy is going to put that away for me. And I'm going to fire this up. We're going to bake at, I'm going to go for 15 minutes. I usually go 25 degrees warmer, but I'm also going to let it sit in there for a while. So I'm just going to go the 15 and let it do its thing. Then I said we're going to make a surprise dessert. This is almond and grape cake. Today is National Grape Day, believe it or not. So we're going to make up a quick little thing of almond cakes, and then we're going to get started on our, I don't want to call it Italian beef. I'm going to call it Italian inspired beef sandwiches because I know for those of you who might be of Italian descent, this is definitely not an Italian beef sandwich. So to get started, we are going to take 1 stick of butter, and you don't have to use a stand mixer. I just decided to do that today. And that's supposed to be at room temperature. That's pretty close. Can you get me a grocery bag to put in the trash thing? Get my handy dandy washcloth so I can wipe my hands off. If you are hanging out with me right now, I just want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. This is Gluten-Free from the 513, where we make treats, and we make them all gluten-free. Some things are naturally gluten-free, some things we adapt. So, starting off with the butter. And then we got some sugar. And yes, I know I'm almost out of sugar. So, hey, how are you, Andra? So, nice. Working on your puzzle. I love it. All right, so I need 2/3 of a cup. And I don't have a 2/3 cup. So I'm going to use 1/3 of a cup twice. So there's one. And it's going to be a little shy of 2/3 of a cup. So I'm going to grab me the other sugar. The one up there. So get to refill that one. Hang on, I'm going to have you put that back just so it doesn't take up any more room than I need to. Ooh, more than enough now. I might have too much sugar. Oh well. Okay. We're going to cream that up. Let that go for a few minutes. And while that's getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and break my eggs here. You won't hear the dogs today. They're upstairs in my son's room. It's too, or if you do, it'll be muffled. It's too hot and steamy to put them out. We've had some rain and it is warm. Okay, so we're going to cream that up a little more. Then we're going to add the eggs in one at a time. And I need to zest an orange real quick. I was going to do that before I got on, but hey, Christy, how are ya? I am got a couple things going here. I've got a gluten-free bread in the oven, gluten-free baguette from a company called Against the Grain. I've never done this before. It's a frozen baguette that you can cook from frozen. So we're going to see if it's any good. And then, Chrissy, you're actually the reason I kind of changed the name of the live today, because this really isn't Italian beef. It's inspired by Italian beef, but I'm using a shaved beef and Italian flavors. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. So, but we're also making, today is National Grape Day. So we are making an almond cake with grapes in it. So never had grapes in anything like this. So kind of intrigued by the whole thing. So, all right, it's not the greatest job ever, but after almost taking my knuckle off, I'm a little gun shy. I think the hubs and I may go out this weekend and see if we can find, I don't know if you've ever seen the gloves that you can wear so you don't chop yourself up, but I might get that for when I do things like this. So anyway, I love this thing because this green thing covers it so that you don't get yoinked, but then you can put it in here to so your zest doesn't go everywhere. Alrighty. So once I do that, get those eggs incorporated, then I am going to need a cup of almond flour. So, well, it's, I don't think we get as offended, to be honest, when we're American something. I'm a German American, and I've seen people do things to German food that I'm like, that's not what's done. But you know what? It is what it is. So everybody adapts stuff, and that's okay. All right, so that's pretty well incorporated. I'm going to put my cup of almond flour in there. I love that it makes the small cakes instead of a large cake. It's a lot faster that way. So, all right. And I learned a long time ago, when I'm cooking, I close things up. I know I look like a messier cook than I really am when I do these things, because normally I put everything away. So I would be like walking over to my pantry a dozen times because that's what I normally do. And then I am adapting a non-gluten-free recipe that calls for AP flour. I'm just using 1-to-1, but it only has a 1/4 cup, so that's good. So, is it Halima? Is that how I say that? I hope I said that correctly. Welcome in. We are currently making an almond cake that's going to have grapes in it because it's National Grape Day in the U.S. And I'm kind of excited about that. So I like almond cake. I'm not sure IT guy likes almond cake, but he'll get over it. So, and we've got the zest of an orange. We're going to put that in there. And pop that in the... I did remember to start some water, so I'm always happy when I do that, because then it makes cleanup a lot easier. So, the last little bit of that zest. And then it says 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to use vanilla bean paste. I like both, and they're basically interchangeable in a recipe. And then it calls for half a teaspoon of salt. So, all right, close enough. Scrape it down one time and then we'll finish it up. Got some flour up there on the sides. Okay, so I usually get my lunch dishes done while I'm getting ready for going live. So just because I want to start with a clean sink at least, because I know I won't end with one. So uh, there we go. You can smell the orange zest. It smells so good. All right, toss that in there. This is a really thick batter. I thought it might be. So it says it makes 9. We're going to see if I get 9 out of here or if I get more or less. So I'm going to start with 1 scoop in each. Actually, I think it's going to be more of a heaping scoop if I want to do 9 of them. When I saw this for the first time, I thought it was really, thought it was the coolest thing. That is, my mom didn't bake much, so I learned all my baking on my own. And I thought that was genius when I saw that for the first time. To use a scoop for your cupcakes. Okay. I am going to have to do something I love. I'm being sarcastic, by the way, because these are not evenly distributed. I'm going to grab some out of the, get a spoon, kind of see where we are with these guys. Some of them are way bigger than others. Whoa, stay in there. I always tell people it's real life here when I cook. So sometimes we gotta adjust, sometimes we gotta, I wouldn't say fix something. It's just, I mean, I could cook them like this. They're just not going to come out evenly cooked, which that's not fun for eating. So a little bit off of that one. This one's really the full one. So I think we're good. It'll be close. All right. So then next thing we're supposed to do is literally pop a grape down in there. What it says, just bury one in there. That's what we're going to do. That, I guess we'll cook up around that one. So tell me, are you somebody who follows a recipe to the letter or do you play with it? Some people, you know, they're like, just make it the right way. Some people are like, I'll wing it. Just curious if you're one or the other. Sounds like we're going to get another thunderstorm. It has rained and rained and rained here. We weren't even here for most of it this weekend. So then, after you do that, you're supposed to cut 9 more of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then put those on top. So we're going to do that real quick. I know a lot of people who are like that. I am of the opinion, especially with baking, I try to make it right the first time and then play with it after that. But now that I'm gluten free, I kind of have to wing it on a lot of things. So, especially if something, I was really worried because a lot of times if you convert straight to gluten free, you can end up with something very dry. And I figure with it being having grapes in it, that's a lot of moisture. So hopefully it doesn't mess it up. But the other thing it suggests that we do is, that one's really small. The other thing it suggests is to sprinkle with sliced almonds. There you go. Study it, then follow it. That makes sense. Okay, so I think I've mentioned this before, I think, but for those who have not heard, my husband does not like nuts in his food, and IT guy isn't real fond of them either. So I will make half with nuts, with the slivered almonds on them, and half without. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Interesting. Okay. All right. IT guy, you get to put that in the oven for me, dear. We're going to go 10 minutes, then we're going to rotate it and go 10 more. Okay, so there's that. Just about done on my baguette in there. I'm going to leave that in there. One last grape. Yum. And now I'm going to get the mixer out of the way so I can put my cook surface up there. I don't know about you, but when it gets to be summer, I don't want lots of hot. That's funny. I didn't know that you didn't like peanuts, but you make peanut butter cookies. I do know that Andrew makes peanut butter cookies. So you just don't like the nuts, but you don't mind peanut butter. Is that what I'm hearing? So, okay. Get one mess out of the way before I start another. I'm going to put this over on the sink. Put the lock on so I don't carry it around the house like that. And I'm going to rinse this off because I might use it again. Actually, I will definitely use it again. So, all right. Oh, can you guys hear the thunder? I'm sure my dogs are going nuts because of that. That's what they're probably making all that noise for. There's thunder outside. They cannot be trusted. They would be right here, and I don't need them right here while I'm having this moment. So, okay, so you make them for your family. Got it. All right. I got this when I was on my weekend. You guys, I love it. If you follow the Midwestern mom, she when she makes recipes, she like beats the nuts and stuff like that. So she says it's smashing those Midwestern feelings. So it cracks me up. Anyway, all right. Gonna slice up an onion real quick here. Again, this is shaved beef. It's Italian inspired. it is not Italian beef. So first thing I'm going to do is slice up an onion. And I could do this really small, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it in like nice pieces for putting on the sandwich. Because if you like that hoagie sub, grinder, whatever they happen to call it in your part of the world, where I am, it's a hoagie. It was funny because I went to school with a lot of kids that were not from Ohio. And the first time I said a hoagie, they were like, a what? What's a hoagie? It's like, a hoagie. And they're like, what the heck is that? And then I found out they called them subs or grinders. Grinders was the one that I thought was interesting. So anyway, so I'm going to do fairly thick slices on this just to make it easy. So, but anyway, there was a guy on our campus. This guy cracked me up. He was one of my favorite people. And we just called him the Hoagie Man. And I was on a remote campus. So I was in a little tiny town called Granville, Ohio. Went to a college called Denison University. And there was not much. There were a couple of pizza places that would deliver to campus. But once the dining halls were closed, we were very limited unless we had a car. And especially if you were a freshman, you weren't allowed to have a car. There weren't enough parking spaces for you. So this guy would come through he would start around 9 o'clock, and he could only go till 11 because 11 started quiet hours. And he would come through the dorms, and he would sell hoagies. And he would yell out so that he didn't have to knock on everybody's door. He would yell out really loud, hoagies, roast beef, ham and cheese, turkey. That was exactly how he did it. And it was so funny. And unless you were a vegetarian or vegan, I think every person I know bought hoagies from him. So at some point, not all the time, but at some point you had like that, like dinner was terrible, you didn't enjoy it, you didn't have any snacks, and we didn't have Amazon delivery, we didn't have any of that stuff. So you were grateful for that guy, and you didn't have to walk to the Union to try to get something that was not nearly as good. So he put himself through college that way. And I did not go to my college wasn't cheap. So, I always say good for him. He was very entrepreneurial to do it. And then when he left, he had actually incorporated. So he handed the business over to a couple of guys, but then he got, like 10% of their profits for the 4 years they were there. So pretty wild, in my opinion. So, eek. Bad spot on the garlic. I think I'm going to try to make something here soon. I know people who've been around have seen me talk about this, but I was eating this for a while. It's called Garlic Crunch. And I didn't realize it actually has soy sauce powder in it, because Chili Crisp does not have soy sauce powder in it, but Garlic Crisp does. So I was glutening myself, and that makes sense why I was so inflamed and my stomach was not feeling good. So it's such a minuscule amount. And again, not celiac. I say that all the time because I don't want people to think that I speak for celiacs, because I do not. What they have is much more serious than what I have, as far as how sick they can get, how quickly. And I mean, it just takes like less than a quarter of a teaspoon for them to be sick for days. So I do not pretend that what mine is near as terrible as what they go through when they get glutened. So mine's not comfortable. Don't get me wrong. It's not fun. But the damage that it does to celiacs, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. It's an unfortunate thing. Anybody who has any kind of autoimmune thing, it's difficult and it's terrible and it's not fun. So, yeah, it was. I thought so too. Kind of sneaky. But I hadn't been feeling good, and I don't know what made me look at the ingredients on that, and I was like, oh man, I've done it to myself. That's the part that made me like, oh, what did I do? So, okay. Gonna use that dye, I think. Don't really want to use a frying pan because I want something a little deeper than that. But I think butter or olive oil. Can you give me the olive oil? I think I'll go with the olive oil. A little less saturated fat. Some more of the healthier fats, if you will. So, Christy, I know you're Italian American, but talk to me about olive oil. What's your favorite? Not just necessarily, do you cook and finish with the same kind of oils? Because I have a beautiful finishing oil from Spain that my daughter-in-law brought me and gave me for Christmas. She was traveling over there, and I never really loved finishing oils. Like, I love caprese salad, but I could never get it to taste as good as it did in a restaurant until I got this oil. And oh my gosh, now I'm like, oh, holy cow, that was close. Wow. That was wild. Whew. That was a little, that got my attention. Let's put it that way. We're almost shimmery here. Sorry, that really, that got me. I don't usually get whacked out. You know you need to flip that, right? Flip that and go 10 more. Thank you. Okay. Well, we are definitely ready now. All right, I'm going to drop these guys in here. I don't usually cook onions in a pot like this. This is our second thunderstorm today, which is unusual for us. And we had one the other night. We've had a lot of thunderstorms. So that's, like I said, that's kind of unusual for us. It's also later in the season for a lot of this like heavy rain. We're kind of at the tail end of Tornado Alley, if you will. We've had some whoppers here through the years. We have an entire town up north of us called Xenia, Ohio, and it was destroyed. There was hardly anything left of the entire town back in the 70s. And then some friends of my son, when he was in preschool, there was a really bad tornado in the 90s, and it came, hey Ruby, it came right at them. Oh really? Okay, Aldi's. I'll have to check that out. For anybody who just came in, it is National Grape Day. So we are making, that's going to be loud too. Um, we're making almond flour cakes, because we're talking about olive oil. We're making almond flour cakes. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I got to check and see what's going on. What's happening?
Having a fight. I'm trying to keep them company because the storm is scaring them. But
Okay.
I'm gonna separate them because I think they're.
Okay. Go ahead and stay up there with them. Hopefully, I'll just walk away if I need to. Guys, I am so sorry. All right. Woof. Yikes. Okay, my dogs were making, they got in a fight. And that doesn't, they fuss at each other, but they don't usually get like that. That's what was scaring me. And I didn't hear my son saying anything. So they're scared because of the storm. And he's trying to keep them separated, but near him. And they both want to be near him. So, whoo. Whoa. So anyway, Ruby, I can't remember if I said hi to you or not. So if I didn't, I apologize, and I'm saying hi now. So we're having shaved beef sandwiches for dinner. We're sweating down these onions so that I want them to still have body, but I want them to be soft. So I'm going to let those go a little more. We're not going to caramelize or anything, but we're going to the point where I want them to be soft. Okay, that really, that threw me. So it's been, it's funny. I had this great morning, but this afternoon, it felt so chaotic all afternoon. So I think that maybe it was the storm coming in. Who knows? But, oh, okay. Thanks, Ruby. That's great. Oh, funny. So, yeah, I'm one of those, Christy, I'm one of those Midwesterners. I apologize for everything, even stuff that I know isn't my fault. So, or my doing or whatever. So, all right, now the recipe I was using it actually called for dried onions. It also called for garlic powder. And I'm all for those things and some things, but like something like this where I'm trying to build levels of flavor. If I'm in a hurry, I might, but I've got the time today. So adding I had 2 really big cloves of garlic, and it smells so good. So, and then, pouring down rain again. I've watered my basement again. This recipe called for Italian seasoning. I did like half Italian seasoning and half dried basil because I like basil better than oregano. So oregano. I almost said oregano, like I'm British or something. But I think I've just heard it so much because I watch a lot of British television. So that's funny, Andrew. I'm gonna make homemade sloppy joes tomorrow. So there you go. And no, I'm not making Bemis barbecue. I'm making my version. I know you love the Bemis version. My husband's family has a version of ground beef barbecue that they all love. Not my thing. So when I make it, it's different. So we're going to add some pepper in here. I can't put enough pepper in for my family. Holy moly. Wish you guys could see what was going on outside. I don't like this kind of weather. This is where tornadoes come from. And no, it's nothing to worry about right now because my lights are on. If you know anything about tornadoes, my lights are still on. I'm good. And even if the lights go out, it could just be the storm, not necessarily. Oh, that smells so good. All right, now we're going to do a little deglazing. If you wanted to, you could use some red wine. That would make a nice addition. Won't be doing that today. I want it more beefy than anything else. So we're going to use Yeah, see, I'm probably going to do that too. I'm going to make a big batch. For those who have seen me do this before, I um, I add together ground beef, ground turkey, and some lentils. So I lower the fat content and I up the uh, fiber factor. That's the word I wanted. Fiber. So you may need some more. Yeah, I'll do a little more than that. I don't want them to be too juicy, but I do want to put some in here, and then I'm going to like let it render down a little bit. So, um, I used to, and my husband is one of those guys that literally goes out and hangs outside, sits on the porch during a thunderstorm, and he helped me kind of desensitize to thunderstorms. So that's been pretty good. Well, that was unfortunate because it goes everywhere. I'll be washing this one. Okay, so I'm going to let that burble away for just a little bit. Yeah, apparently it was like that all weekend, and I think it says I wrap 21. Yes, we do. I do some of those things. I share my food all the time. Always have. I have for my entire adult life, which is a very long time. We're not going to say how long. I don't care. Um, about 50 years. So that I've been an adult. A little over 50. 55, I guess. Is that right? I'm 63, so no, 45. I've been an adult person, and I have always shared my abundance. So now, as I was telling everybody earlier, I am going to use. Oh, I actually got plates out today. So, haha, I have a plate. But I'm going to move this to the side a little bit. I'm going to get out my baguette that's been sitting in there. Ooh. Okay, my timer is about to go off. I just turned off my oven, so if it goes off for a few seconds, it'll be fine. So some of those less fortunate are my own family. So that's something I learned a long time ago from other family members. I married into a family that is very good about taking care of people, whether they are, and Andrew knows this. She's a former sister-in-law, and we're still friends, and everybody knows we're still friends, and everybody's okay with it. Well, that's interesting. It's got a hole in it. I'm just going to turn off my timer. And I'm going to check in the oven to make sure. Okay. They're supposed to sit in the oven for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. This is still hot, so I am going to. Doesn't say I have to wait till it cools to cut it, so we'll see. But I'm gonna. So we can open it without hopefully breaking the back of it, so I can have a nice good sandwich. All right, so well, it's gonna break. What can I say? All right, hang on just one second. Grab the provolone cheese here, and I put the scissors back. So I'm gonna grab those. The sauce is reducing nicely because the meat only has to be in there for a couple of seconds, honestly, and it'll be done It's so thin. I don't know if anybody else does that, where they say, do you buy this? Anybody else buy the shaved beef? I love it. It's so nice for a quick meal when you need one. Now, granted, I've done a little more than that here, but so I did use provolone cheese. I didn't want anybody coming after me. So I'm going to put that on there. And honestly, I'm going to try this bread. I'm hoping it's good. I'm going to give it a little. It's quite the crusty bread, that's for sure. That's going to be nice. I'm going to take some of that juice and I'm going to use that to dip. So I'm not mad about that. So Christy, that was called Against the Grain Baguettes. In case you want to check it out for your son-in-law. Give him a nice crusty roll as well. So this is, I get this, we have Kroger here. And they have this on sale every once in a while. This batch wasn't on sale, but it just sounded like something good. So I decided to make it. Now, the other thing, when I make things, you will see that I do not salt things like most people do. And that is with purpose, because my husband is a type 1 diabetic. And I don't really want to use these, but I will. I need a set of tongs to put these in here. So I'm going to take this out. The juice has cooked way down. I'm just going to drop this in here a little bit at a time. Ah! Come on, you. It's closing on me. That's why I didn't want to use these. They do that sometimes. So I'm going to put the meat in there. Going to get it to brown up. It won't take long at all. Oh, I forgot something. Dang on it. All right. Pepperoncinis. I just put a little of the juice in there. And if some of the little pepperoncinis go in there, that's great. My husband will put it on his sandwich. I will just put it in the juice for me. So you will not see me. I mean, there's salt in here. There's salt in here. So there's salt in the provolone, although it is a lower sodium. So I'm going to put this on my sandwich. Ah, sorry. Cranky. And yes, that's more than I need. I'll just eat that. But I also don't want it to overcook. So I will put the rest of it in when my family is ready to eat. So I'm going to let that sit on there for just a minute. And I'm going to turn this way down. And I'm going to add a little more because I don't think my husband's going to be home for a while. He's, for those who might not know, I live in Cincinnati. And my husband is working about 30 minutes down into Kentucky. So he's, without traffic, it's 30 to 45 minutes to get there. Probably closer to 45. With this kind of rain coming home, it's going to be at least an hour. So, anywho, but it seems like the storm has passed, which is nice. I'm going to see how well this does in the juice, see if it falls. So, it's really weird when you don't salt, isn't it, Ruby? Because then you go out and you're like, wow, this food is salty. Yeah, when you soak it in the juice. So good. Anyway, um, yeah, bread is hard. I'll tell you, bread is really, really hard. I think I showed you that Franz sourdough last week. That's some of the best bread I've had. And I think next month, I've already talked to IT guy and I were talking about it. And I think that we're going to try a sourdough starter. We're going to see if we can make our own sourdough. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I think the cakes have been in long enough, so I'm going to pull those out of the oven. We're going to take a look at those. Let's get this onion off of here. So, I'll turn this up. I can't. Yeah, I can. I'm going to let it soak into the top of the bread too. So, I have to figure out what IT guy did with the oven mitts. IT guy didn't do anything. I did. Oh well. There we go. All right. So there's our little cakes. Are they pretty? Okay. And now the sun's out again. It's gonna be so hot and steamy. All right, I gotta find a place to sit this because it's getting really hot on my hands. Okay, move this stuff out of the way. I promise you guys I'll be a little better off tomorrow. I'll be a little more organized, a little more on the ball, if you will. And I'm gonna use one of these guys to get us out of here. See if I can. They didn't tell you to put it in a cupcake liner. They actually told you to grease the tin, but we don't have to do that anymore. I grew up having to do that. Did anybody else have to take home ec when they were in, like, I was in junior high. I had to take it seventh and eighth grade year, I think. But was not my favorite thing. I already knew how to sew a little bit, and I already knew how to cook. And my home ec teacher did, for whatever reason, that woman did not like me at all. I don't know why, but she took great dislike to me. So I'm going to try to get a piece off of here. Grab a fork. Okay. So, taste test time. Yay. All right. Okay, I'm at that point. Some of you know my hairstylist went on to another career, something other than hair work. And so I'm in this place where, like, my bangs are right here. So do I let them grow out? Do I cut them back up? And I think I'm going to let them grow out for a little while, just not have to deal with it for the summer. So, okay. So it's really juicy still around it's done, but the juice from the grapes has come out. So I'm going to be really, actually, you know what? I have a little piece of cake that's just cake. So I'm going to try that first. Mm. Okay. If you like orange and almond, you're going to love this. Um, I'll put I'll probably make a separate video and I'll put the recipe in there. It's good enough to do that. I want to try it with a little bite of the grape, and hopefully the grape's not too hot. Well, that's so different. Like I said, I've never had a dessert like that with grapes in it. So it's very different. I like it. But if I were to do it again, I think I'd make it with cherries, to be honest. I think it would taste better. And cherries and almond go so well together. I honestly think that's what I would do. I think that the cherry flavor would be better. Anyway, but I like it. It's a nice cake. All right, now we're going for the messy sandwich here. I'm gonna pull this back here. And like I said, tomorrow we're making sloppy joes. We're gonna have coleslaw. I'm gonna make homemade coleslaw, sort of homemade. I'm not shredding that cabbage myself. I already bought it pre-shredded. And then what else? Can't remember. Come back for sloppy joes and something else. I cannot remember for the life of me. I think tomorrow's might be gluten-free mac and cheese. So I'm almost sure of it now. Okay. Now that the bread sat for a little bit, I would cook it a little less, or take it out sooner is probably what I could have done, but I didn't. Um, I'll try it, and I always try coleslaw when we're out. Um, and I am one of those people who does prefer it on the sweet side as opposed to the savory side. So, um, okay, as far as the meat, it's great. The bread is a little crusty, like I said. I think I'm going to get myself some of the juice, and I will probably cut this in half, and then I'll dip it in the bread or in the juice to soften the bread up a little bit. But see home. Well, we're wrapping up anyway. So anyway, um, so thanks for joining in the chaos today between the dogs and the storm and everything else going on. I want to thank you all for being here. It's been fun. I've loved the conversation. I love learning from you guys and having us all talk to each other. Um, oh well, good. I'm glad to hear you don't shred your own cabbage too. I know some people do. I'm using a bag tomorrow, whether people like it or not. But anyway, um, I really appreciate y'all being here. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to do a homemade sloppy joe, and then we're going to do the gluten-free mac and cheese and coleslaw. So I might be here a little while. We'll see. But and then Friday is potato soup and grilled cheese. We're going to try some different things with grilled cheese. I have an idea, and I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Eat well, be well, and